Hello friends! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalie and I am the artist and owner behind NMC Design Studio, which is a small art business based out of Seattle, Washington. So last video we chatted about all of the achievements and goals and things that happened in 2025, kind of a retrospective on the year. And today I'm going to talk about my hopes and dreams and goals for 2026. Like last year, I made a 3x3 bingo grid of my 9 goals for the year, and it's following a kind of similar formula of what types of goals I have on there. So I have make a desk mat, 50 online orders, 500 YouTube subscribers, 10 wholesale orders, be profitable, which is the same as what it was this year, 1,500 Instagram followers, ship to 5 states, which is the same as it was, 250 newsletter subscribers, and 5 new Ko-fi subscribers. So a lot of these are increases in numbers from last year, even some of the goals that we didn't meet, like the wholesale orders, online orders, Instagram followers, and then we've added in the amount of YouTube subscribers. Oh, also the email newsletter subscribers also increased in amount, but we did meet that goal. So some of my thought process behind some of these things is I would like growth. I feel like that's a very businessy thing to say, but like I would like to see growth and expansion. I feel really dumb saying these things, but I would like to see not just meeting what last year's goals were, but increasing, and I don't have that much to base some of these numbers on. They're just numbers that I'm throwing out there. In terms of Instagram followers, it would be an extra increase from last year, and also I kind of feel like, I don't know how accurate this is, I feel like as you have more followers, it is easier to gain more followers because your content, because of the amount of followers, might be being shown to more people that aren't following you already. I don't know how accurate that is. That's just like a vibes gut thing I have. But I have more followers now than I did at the beginning of last year. So I'm thinking that maybe I will get more followers. I'm also doing more out-of-state things, and that is entirely new groups of people that will probably have never seen my things before, because prior to this year, I have been very Washington state focused. So having more out-of-state means that it's a bunch of new people, whereas being more in-state means it's a mix of maybe some new people, people who have already followed me or bought things from me, supported me, etc., etc. So that's my thought process for increasing the numbers on some of the goals that we didn't even meet last year, and also some of the goals that we did meet last year. The YouTube subscribers is kind of just like a dream. I don't know if we'll meet it or not, but I can monetize once I hit 500 YouTube subscribers. It's not ads monetization, but it's something. I think at the very least I'll be able to link my products from my online store to YouTube once I hit 500 subscribers. There's also an element of watch time, which we will see if we get close to that, but that's the reason for that number. And then I really like making profitable the like center square, the quote unquote most important square, because it's used in so many like bingo lines, right? Because I feel like that's just kind of like the ultimate goal of a small business, is to just be profitable at the end of the year. You don't want to be losing money, right? So having that as the center square still, I think still makes sense. And then the create a desk mat, I want to have like like a more achievable goal in there that isn't so like numbers based and like business based, right? Less capitalistic and more like creativity and things like that, right? So that is a product type that I feel like would be really fun to include, and I think I would like to have it in there as well. I don't know how well it will sell because I know my 3D mouse pads do pretty well generally, but those are also a little bit different and may appeal to like different audiences. So we'll see. And then some just like overall goals that aren't reflected in like this very numbers measurable based things. I would like to be more consistent in my posting and things like that. I don't think I've necessarily talked about it on here yet. I did film something and then I didn't edit it. Case in point, I filmed a thing, I didn't edit it, so we missed a week at the end of December last year for videos. So I would like to be more consistent, have better consistency in posting things, not only to here, but like also Ko-fi and my newsletter, things like that. And I feel like what would help in doing that is having more of a done backlog of content that I can just post. So seeing things and knowing myself, like the biggest issue is, for YouTube specifically is what I'm talking about, but the biggest issue is editing things. I can convince myself to film, I'm doing it right now, but then I have to sit down at my computer and I have to edit a video. And I procrastinate so hard on the editing portion. I just leave it. And then it's Monday and I'm like, well, I really don't want to do this like last minute tonight, so I guess we're just gonna miss this week. That's not great. I would like to not do that. So I think if I get better at, I sit down and film and then I go and edit, even if that video isn't supposed to come out that day, right? I think that would be helpful. And then I have that content I can pull from. Honestly, I just need to put myself on a schedule. Like I film and edit on this day and this week, and that's just the thing that happens. But it means that I need to force myself to stay on that schedule, which can be difficult sometimes, because if you are not self-motivated, you don't have anyone else telling you to do things. As a small business owner, you have to tell yourself to do those things, and that can be hard. Hopefully I figure out something that better works for me, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. That's my goal, my dream. I have a few things this year, one of which we'll talk about in a minute, but I have a few things this year where I need to have videos done in advance because I'm not gonna have access to my computer to edit or to like even film, edit, upload things, so I need them scheduled in advance. But speaking of that, I have 2 out-of-state conventions this year, which is very exciting. One happened this past weekend. It was Animate Raleigh. And then I have GalaxyCon in New Orleans in July. And those are the 2 big conventions that currently I'm scheduled for. I'm waiting to hear back from like SakuraCon and ChibiChibiCon, which are both local to Washington, and then still waiting to hear back from a couple of other ones. But other big thing that's happening, and one of the biggest reasons why I'm going to need to schedule and pre-film and pre-edit a bunch of content is I am going to, in April, be at Direct Angle Press in New Hampshire for a artist residency for 2 weeks, which is going to be very, very fun. I'm very excited about it. I have some ideas in my head about like what I want to do. Most of it is Risograph. So they are a print studio that has Risograph printers. They also have letterpress and I think bookbinding stuff. So I'm hoping to make some cool experimental zines, and I am planning on vlogging it. Obviously the vlogs won't come out until after I get back, so there will be a little bit of a delay, but I hope that will be really interesting for y'all to see, and I'm really excited. I have some fun ideas, I think, about maybe what I want to do and what I want to work on while there. But it's 2 weeks with like access to Risograph, which is I'm so excited to have access to a Risograph printer, because I feel like that's the biggest thing for printing my Risograph right now is I don't print it. I could if I think took some classes with one of the different Risograph studios in Seattle, but I don't currently. I use Push-Pull in Ballard, and you'll send them your files and they'll print it for you. But that obviously means that like I can't really play around with the colors and like layering the colors as well, because it's harder to do like a test print and then see what it looks like and then make a change, do another test print. So I'm really excited to be able to do that. And that'll be really fun. And then the last thing that's going to be happening is, so this past year, 2025, I took a break from specifically events in September. I didn't take a break from social media or like doing art business things because I had big shop update at the beginning of October. So September was a lot of all of that logistic stuff. This year, I am going to take a break from events, as well as mostly from posting on social media, including YouTube, as well as like Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, all of the things, for all of September and October. The biggest reason for this is at the end of last year, I was, and still am, feeling a lot of burnout from like content creation stuff. So like all of social media things, making YouTube videos, mostly just the editing of the YouTube videos. It was really hard, and still is a little bit hard, to motivate myself to actually do that stuff. And so I'm hoping that for this next year, taking that break during that time will help give me more of an actual break from doing all of this stuff. Because I took a break from events, and then I wasn't burnt out on events, I'm burnt out on doing social media and content creation. And I'm hoping that taking that 2-month break during that time will help be like a mental reset for specifically the content creation portion of it. And maybe it'll end up being a time that I like pre-film and pre-edit some things to like re-up my backlog if I've kind of used it all up. We'll see how I'm feeling during that time, or if it's just like fully a break. And one more reason for taking the break at that specific time. Well, one, that's generally when I've taken a break from events in the past 2 years, since I did this, not just this past year, but the year before as well. In 2024, I took a break from events for September and October. But the other reason is Reese and I are actually getting married during that time. So it'll be a good break, and also I'll have time to focus on that and getting all of those things ready for a wedding. That'll be really fun, and hopefully then it still feels like a break and it doesn't feel like I'm just working on a different project. We'll see. But I think that kind of wraps up everything so far that I have planned for 2026. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. I try to put out videos every Monday about my artwork and what it's like running a small art business. And thank you to my Ko-fi subscribers for all of your support. If you're interested in supporting me further, you can subscribe to me on Ko-fi for $1 or $3 a month to get different rewards like your name in this video, as well as behind the scenes sketchbooks, and for the higher tier, monthly digital desktop and mobile backgrounds that you can download and put on your devices. Thank you again for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.